You're listening to Women in Wellness, a program to help you create gorgeous growth for your blissful business in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Gabby, holistic health expert and founder of Women in Wellness, a one-of-a-kind course and community designed to empower and inform you about how to build a purposeful and profitable holistic business. I'm so excited for today's interview. I have a terrific guest, Trish Ward. Trish is a nutritional consultant and believes in taking human productivity and potential to the next level through health and wellness. Hi, Trish.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yay!
Thrilled to be here.
So as we were saying just before the call, you and I met in San Diego not long ago, and
Yes.
we were surrounded by all these amazing health and wellness entrepreneurs and health experts. And I wanted to go a little bit deeper with you into your work and what you're doing so that we can kind of share that with the community of health and wellness folks. So for those of the listeners that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into becoming a nutrition consultant?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here. Gosh, I literally ran right into it. And what I mean by that is I'm the mom of 3 kids, and my second child was born with special needs. And at the time, the way I coped was I found a pair of running shoes and I ran my heart out. And finally, after years of training, I just started slipping. My times were slipping. I was exhausted. And I went to one of my coaches and I said, hey, I can't keep this up. Like I'm dying on the vine. And he was a great man, but he was like, oh, just keep eating more. Just eat more. I'm thinking I'm eating a ton and this is not working.
Like, what were you eating? Like hamburgers or like what?
I was literally eating like a college guy. Seriously. I'm just under 5'8". I think I weighed 118 pounds. I was the crazy person that was out doing triples in a day. If you asked me out to go run 20 miles, I'd be like, sure. But I couldn't eat enough. I couldn't eat enough. And when your time's slipping running, second means everything. So I ended up saying, thank you so much, coaches. And I found a new one. And I found a woman who was just this badass runner. She was 56, an Olympic trials contender. And the first thing she said to me when we sat down was, have you had your panels checked? And I was like, what? Panels? And she goes, yeah, I do it every 6 months. And she was just blown away. I hadn't had my panels done. Sure enough, had my panels done. Had no ferritin, no vitamin B, and no vitamin D.
Wow.
So in my system, that's what turned me on to okay, I think this nutrition thing is real and there's got to be a better way. So when I say I literally ran into it, I did. And so I started eating for performance, and then I started training people on that. But really, what I realize now is that, I really ran into it, number one, for my son. Nutrition has been a really big deal in his journey, the journey of our entire family, and then really serves the mission of what I do. I call myself the soulful nutritionist, and I serve women and families who seriously need some nutritional guidance, and really want to feel better. I have a special heart for special needs families. So counseling them is just really rewarding. And who would have thunk that, sometimes we get handed things in life and we don't raise our hand and we're thinking, why do I have this? And then it's like, oh, okay. How am I going to merge all this science that I know and all this soulful living that I do into one? And here we are. And it's been an evolution for sure.
That's amazing. So many things come to mind. One of the first things that comes to mind is I talk to a lot of people who are passionate about nutrition and are integrating nutrition education into their work. And one of the things that comes to mind is, why are we so ignorant about food in the first place? How did we get to a point where we didn't understand what we were eating or how we should eat or what was in our food? It feels like the fact that we need so many coaches and trainers and educators getting us back on track is just a little bit weird, isn't it?
It's totally weird. But our society has done such a great job at numbing out and being as busy as possible and removing ourselves from any kind of emotion. I tell my clients all the time, we eat for about the first maybe 7 minutes for nutrients, and then we eat for emotion. And in the shared experience of eating with someone is really what we're going for. It's a dopamine hit and we want that. But we've done such a great job at keeping ourselves busy and telling ourselves like, well, I can't, I got to get this. This is too important. And the value of us in tuning in and truly listening to ourselves has kind of gone away. So we need to be retaught that. And it's critical. It's crucial. It's huge.
Yeah, the other thing that stood out when you were talking was this idea of soulful. So what do you mean when you say soulful? Like, I hear you talking about family, I hear you talking about mindfulness, I hear you talking about kind of being present. Like, what does soulful mean in your work?
Oh gosh, it means a couple of things. Number one, it means passionate, right? But number two, what I realized after doing this for quite some time now is that kind of what I shared, like I am happy to go science on you and write a bunch of protocols, and I love that. But what I realized over the course of time when I work with someone is that after 2 or 3 weeks, I'm really dealing with their psychology and their soul and their spirit, because like I said, the first couple of weeks is like, yes, I've got something new. I'm feeling better. I'm on par. This is great. And then we're boom, stuck with our limiting beliefs again. And we're boom, stuck with all the thoughts that are in that critter brain of ours that just kind of hold us back from actually advancing, because it's like, who will I be then? What do I do if I can't complain about this anymore? What do I say if, oh my God, I actually have time? I've hidden behind like, I'm so busy. I can't, I don't have time. And it's really dealing and looking at that side of us that keeps us going for the transformation, because ultimately, nutrition is imperative. It helps. Some people are very challenged nutritionally, and I understand that on a biochemical measure. But the reality is that good nutrition makes us feel good. I mean, we feel amazing. So really it gives us confidence to then attack all the other things we need to do in our life.
Right.
Relationships, business, all that kind of stuff. It's like the foundation of moving forward. And so I merge both. I'm where soul and science meet to bring people lasting transformation.
That's beautiful. So at some point after discovering all this, you decided that you wanted to do this as work, and you wanted to right? Like you want to share this and do this as work. And so what has that journey like been, from going from mom and runner and, trying to figure this stuff out, to actually becoming an educator and a coach and things like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, to be honest with you, it's been a lot of pivots. It hasn't necessarily always been easy, but it's been completely rewarding. The journey truly is highly navigated by myself in terms of what I do professionally, typically parallels and aligns a lot with where I am personally, right? So we can all speak to that, and then we can, heal and work through that. The journey into this professionally was, I woke up this one morning. I will never forget this morning. I was consulting for a nutraceutical company and loved it. Amazing company, great people. And I was literally awoken out of bed by spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. And all I heard was two things. It was surrender and leap. And I will never forget it. And that day I quit as a consultant for them. And I thought, I'm taking this on. And I committed to myself, no matter what was going to happen. I think we go into business thinking like, oh, this is going to be easy. Hey, look, that person did it in 12 months. And oh my gosh, they told me I can do that. I'm going to get 40 new clients this month if I just follow this step. And, that's not reality. It just isn't. It's staying in the game and hustling and really, really extreme self-care. And I say that because there are days that are exhausting. And the hustle kind of gets to you, and it can be slightly grindish, if you will. But staying really in charge of and on top of your self-care, whether that just means like checking out with a friend or taking a bath, or for me, running some hills, is what keeps me back onto my mission, like why I'm really doing this. And then it allows me to accept, hey, I'm going to have a bad day. Bad days exist. And then it allows me to really love the good ones.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate your honesty about the hustle. I get frustrated when I see a lot of these programs and things advertised about make $1 million in your first month. And I'm like, no,
no. Yeah. And it's delusional, and then it sets us up for failure.
And feeling
And
bad about yourself. Because then if you
that's
don't
it.
achieve that, then you're like, why is everybody else making $1 million a month?
That's exactly right. And it's all about positioning, guys, right? It's like, it's how someone's positioning themselves. The reality is every day, if you are doing one thing to push that needle forward, you're doing great. There's not a race to this finish line. It's just you that's got to hit the line. So, I always tell myself, if I can have a really engaging conversation during the day outside of my clients, because those are always wonderful and nurturing and engaging, but to move my business forward, whether or not I want to give a talk or, I want to work with a particular doctor or whatnot, just one thing, I think we set ourselves up for, I'm going to get all this done. And everyone says, here, set your to-do list for the day. And I'm totally for that. I just think it has to be realistic, because we are human. And we have to honor that.
Yeah, amen. And I mentioned when I was introducing you, and it says in your website and stuff about productivity, this idea of productivity, and you link it to how you're caring for yourself with regards to like food and self-care, right?
Right.
So what does that mean?
Sure. It means kind of what we've been discussing throughout this is that if we negate ourselves and we have like 8,000 to-do lists and we don't check it all off in a day, it's defeating. It keeps that critter brain, that frontal lobe, telling us that we're failing. And when we get into that state mentally, we let everything else slip in our life. Right? Like, and I've done it too. I mean, I'm the first to say, like, I'm on my wagon of eating well, and then I have this one little slip, and it takes me a while to get back on, and then I'm back on. But what I find is that if I can stay consistent with a routine that might work for me, and I call it the 80-20, because the reality is 20% of your life or your week, you're going to, have events or experiences with your relationships that are going to take you off track slightly. But if we can stay on a relative, realistic plan for ourselves, it allows us to be more productive because we're focused. There's so many dangling carrots out there, and being an entrepreneurial person, it's like, wow, this is awesome. But if we can stay focused and just think like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Like, for example, I know this is so routine, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners do this. I have a smoothie every day because it takes the thought out of what I have to do, right? I know it's good for me. I'm getting my protein. I'm getting my greens, blah, blah, blah. Okay, done. But if I fall off of that, there's something that happens when people fall off. In the back of their minds, they think, oh, I'm bad. I did something bad.
Right.
And so what that does is it falls into other arenas in our life, and our confidence gets lowered.
And then you're like in the shame cycle of like, oh, I feel bad. I can eat some ice cream. Oh, what's happening?
Right. It's like, if you're going to be there, go over there, eat some good ice cream, but don't shame yourself. Don't go to that bad place, because no one is perfect. No one, I've yet to meet a perfect person, and we're all still evolving. And so what I found is if we can allow ourselves that, our productivity is higher because we stay on a higher vibration and we attract that. If we're going to go down that slope of like, crap, I screwed up that call, or I ate that, and I'm a total fraud because I'm eating a hamburger right now, or whatever, it's something like that. We can't let ourselves always slip back into that, because it just affects all the other areas.
One of the things that I've noticed, like I've been in the wellness industry for 15 years and teaching for 10 years. One of the things I noticed is that the longer I do it, the faster it is to kind of get back after I fall off. Like before, I would fall off and I'd be miserable for days or weeks or I don't know what, right? And now it's like it's a shortened time, because I'm like, oh, these are the things I need to do right now to get back. These are the people I need to talk to. This is the yoga class I need to go to, like whatever it is. And then it's like coming back into alignment a bit faster. And I feel like that's like, the progress that I've made over time.
100%. And I completely agree with you. I think the best thing we could do being in this profession is, know thyself, right? Know thyself. Know that as we keep journeying through this, we become more self-actualized. And so it's not as devastating. It's just like, oh, there you are again. We fell off, and I'm just going to do this. And, I had the same experience yesterday, to be quite honest with you. I was in a bit of a spin in the morning. I had a really sick client contact me, and I kind of was there, and then I was going to give a talk, and blah. It was like one of those. And you know what I did? I just kind of halted, put my earbuds in, and I went for a walk. Just went for a walk. I was like, I got to clear this, because I believe in my ability to figure things out. I just need to check out to be able to do that and know where to triage, right? And knowing what those little things are for you is everything.
Yeah.
So you can put back on.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Okay.
when people look outside of the blinders, they start looking at what everyone else is doing, and no one does it. Right. So just like put the blinders back on and keep going. It's okay.
Yeah, it's so easy to just look at other people and compare. The cliche is, right, compare their outsides to your insides.
Oh, yes.
Never gonna work.
Not gonna work.
Okay, so in terms of the actual work that you're doing, and like ways that the listeners could engage with you if they wanted to, what kind of stuff are you working on right now? Is it mostly one-on-one stuff or group stuff, or?
So I offer both. I don't currently have too much offering for one-on-one. My wait list is fairly out there, but I do have a group program. And then I also am available. So here, I love to coach, and I love to teach the teacher kind of stuff. So I'm currently helping a few people teach the teacher. People can join me on Facebook, and they can find me at trishmward.com. Excuse me, that's not Facebook, it's Trish M. Ward. And then they can find me online at trishmward.com. And if anyone has any questions, that they want maybe just a quick, hey, I want to reach out to you, I do have 20-minute sessions available that I am happy to, like I said, either help the practitioner or just listeners that are looking to kind of amplify their life.
Right.
Happy to connect that way.
Any top tips come to mind for that amplification? I mean, if you had to say one or two tips that you think are the fastest or simplest ways to amplify, does something come to mind?
Yeah, totally. The word focus. Like, finish one thing, and I say that because it is so easy to get distracted. And I know everyone talks about this, right? But if you have that one thing that you really have needed to just get off your plate, even if it's something that doesn't even relate to your business, but it's hanging on back here and sucks up your energy.
It's like a barnacle. I'm thinking of the barnacles in my boat. It's like this barnacle that's attached to you.
Yes. Oh God, yeah, we all have them, right? So go do that. And then second of all, make time for yourself. And I wish I would have learned that earlier on in my business, because the more time I made, and it wasn't these like long spa days or anything. It was like these little blips where I could check out and be Trish in the midst of my business. Those are invaluable moments. That's when the genius can kick in and the creative side of all of this gets to kick in. And I encourage that.
Yay, Trish, you're awesome. You're so vibrant. Like, the energy is just like emanating from you. It's so nice. Yeah. So I hope everybody finds you. It's trishmward.com, right? That's where they can find you.
That's it. Yeah, I'd love to connect.
Thanks so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can join the Women in Wellness Club at women-in-wellness.com.